Howdy y'all, it's Russell back, and on today's video I'm going to show you how to use the Motive Products Power Bleeder and also the Power Probe BA10 to flush and bleed the brakes on your 2006 Toyota Tundra. Now you will need this adapter on your Toyota or Lexus vehicle if you have this style of cap. This is the style that just pushes on, doesn't screw on, it just pops off like this. Alright, so if you have this style, this is the adapter you need. So the first thing that we need to do, that I normally will do, is I will extract the fluid out of here, because if I can get as much of the dirty fluid out of here as possible, it'll just make the procedure go that much faster. So I am going to take 2 needle nose pliers. Let me switch hands. And I'm going to pull out the strainer. Sometimes it comes out easy, sometimes you have to push it in a little bit. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I want to be able to get my strainer or my Mighty Vac in here. And you can use a turkey baster if you have it. You can use some type of extractor. This is the Mighty Mite extractor I've used for years and years and years. And I'm just going to create a vacuum. And I'm going to extract as much of this fluid as I can. I'm not going to be able to get it all, but I'll get as much as I can. Now, as long as the bleeder screw is not open, or you do not press the pedal when you do this, you will not get any air in the system. Okay, so that's about as much as we're going to be able to get out, and that's fine. These don't hold a lot of fluid. The 89 Chevy that you see in a lot of my videos on brake stuff, it will hold an entire liter of fluid. This doesn't hold hardly anything, but that's all right. So I'm putting fresh fluid in here. I'm using DOT4. Use whatever you wish. You can use 3 or 4. 4 has a little higher boiling point. So that's why I'm doing that. Now, since I'm not going to be extracting any more fluid, I'm going to go ahead and put the strainer back in. I could have done that before I poured it in, but I just now thought about it. Okay. All right, so once that's in there, I am going to take our Power Probe BA10, and I want to show you a couple things about it. You've got these ears right here. There's 3 of them, and they're going to allow this center ring right here to be stable when you clamp it on. So what you want to do is turn them like that, so you have the maximum amount of clearance. And then there is a thumb screw right here that when you turn it, it tightens this right here, and there's an O-ring, and it kind of flattens the O-ring out. That's what seals it. Now this right here is a swivel. This is a Type C automotive swivel. That's what we have on our Motive to be able to connect it. And I have some videos to show you how to install quick disconnects on the Motive Power Products. So we're just going to put this in like this, right? I'm going to turn these ears kind of like this, just so they're snug. All right, so see, that's snug. I'm going to turn the thumb screw. Okay, till it's snug like that. You don't need to crank down on it too hard. I will take our quick disconnect hose that we made, and put that on like that. And then I will take our pressure vessel and hook this end up like this. Okay, so everything's hooked up. Now I'm going to pump this up till I get to about 10 psi of pressure, just so we can see if we have any type of air leaks, especially at the cap. So that's about 5. Alright, it's about 10 psi on the gauge right there. And I'm just going to let that sit there a couple minutes and make sure it holds. That will let us know that the integrity and the seal on our cap is good, and we'll be back. Alright, so we're holding 10 psi, absolutely perfect. There's no leaks. So I'm going to go ahead and pump this up to 15 psi. Okay, there's 15 psi. And I'm going to start with the furthest wheel back, which is the passenger side rear. Then we'll go to the driver's side rear, and the passenger front, and the driver's side front. So I've already got everything set up at the first wheel. Let's go under and take a look. All right, so I've got our hose here. I've got my wrench set up. It's a 10mm on the bleeder screw. And then I've got my bottle here. And I'm going to open the wrench, but I'm going to set the camera up here so you can see what's going on in the bottle. All right, so I'm going to open the hose. All right, so that initial air is just coming out of the hose itself. After that, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but you can see a slight color change in the old fluid. And also there's a few tiny bubbles in there. There's not a lot. Those are called champagne bubbles. And there's quite a few of them in there. It's actually a good little stream. So this is the kind of stuff that we need to get out of the brake system. What this will do is it will make our pedal much firmer and much more responsive, and it won't feel as squishy. Alright, so I'm going to let this run, and I'm going to go check the master cylinder, because we need to make sure, since that master cylinder is small, that we don't run out of fluid. So we've still got quite a bit of bubbles in there. So if people have lock brakes, one thing with people that have lock, you want to make sure that you keep off and you don't touch the right pedal. That way it will not confuse any lock brakes. Sometimes when certain models, I think it's on, I'll think on certain models that may do brake flush on, we have to use like a sand tool to activate the lock to throw some fluid out of it, but there's a lot there in here. Alright, so let's leave this one, and I'll say how long it actually took to double care of this one. Alright, so it took about 10 minutes, and now we've got all of the air out of this line. So I'm going to go ahead and close the bleeder screw up here, and then we're going to move to the driver's side rear wheel. Alright, so that initial air like that is just from the air in the hose, and you'll start to see these little small champagne bubbles. Now, since we did the other line first, there will be very minimal air in the lines. What I'm doing is I'm watching to see the color change, and since most of the fluid that was in the bottom of the master cylinder we weren't able to get already flushed out, the pretty much just what's in here is on the small part of the line that goes from the junction over to the wheel cylinder. So it looks like There's no air. All right, so I have completed the brake fluid flush, and I did all 4 wheels. Took me about 20 minutes. This procedure should take anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes on any car. See what the brakes feel like? Yes. The pedal is firmer. There was a lot of air in the rear line. That was all out, and I didn't have any air in any of the other lines. So, worked great. If you guys will do this once a year, go through an entire like 32 ounces of brake fluid, and you should have absolutely no trouble with your brakes. It'll make the seals last so much longer. Remember, brake fluid absorbs moisture, and that will there's no moisture in the system, you're not going to have calipers seize from inside or wheel cylinder seize because of rust. So anyway, hopefully that was helpful. Check out my other Motive products videos on how to set your specific power bleeder up, how to do quick disconnects and all that good stuff, and I will talk to you guys on the next video.